O Dio, Padre buono e misericordioso, che hai scelto Sant'Antonio come testimone del Vangelo e messaggero di pace in mezzo al tuo popolo, ascolta la preghiera che ti rivolgiamo per sua intercessione. Santifica ogni famiglia, aiutala a crescere nella fede, conserva in essa l'unità, la pace, la serenità. Benedici i nostri figli, proteggi i giovani, soccorri quanti sono provati dalla malattia, dalla sofferenza e dalla solitudine. Sostienici nelle fatiche di ogni giorno, donandoci il tuo amore, per Cristo nostro Signore. Amen. One time, giving a retreat to perhaps the most severe nuns in the Western world, the victims of the Sacred Heart, I started calmly a lecture with these words: Je suis ici à cause d'une âne. I am here because of a mule. It was in Protestant days, when only about 14, I was desperate for some kind of proof that the faith that I believed was the true one, that God existed and that it was the Protestant faith that was correct. And I spent lots of time in the Central Library in Cardiff, starting at the beginning and going on, of Butler's Lives of the Saints, and who, of course, was close to the beginning because he had the letter A, but Anthony of Padua. So I started quickly, but then one sentence and one paragraph, which I happened to read but not retain too well, came back weeks later, months later, and I returned to find out what had actually caught my mind at that time. And it was true. There was this bizarre story that the saint was talking to a Jew who did not believe and got his mule to fast in accordance with the desire of the saint, and to bring the mule to him fasting on such and such a day. And he celebrated the sacred mysteries and brought out the host to the mule and commanded him, "Dumb beast, adore your God." And immediately the mule went down and knelt. And that was an uncomfortable story for somebody who was looking for proof that Protestant faith was true. It was enough to get me moving. And on one went in Butler's Lives of the Saints and found the same thing coming back again and again. God talking Catholic, God doing Catholic things, and with obviously a point which was dogmatic and not just miraculous for the sake of healing. This was uncomfortable. Years later, I found myself at Sant'Antonio, and in one novitiate outing we went to Rimini, and there we found, just by chance, the place where this had happened. An altar was there, and there was in a slab on the ground a cross indicating the point where the mule had knelt. And I was moved and thought how God can make use even of animals. Indeed, the animals listen well. And we have in the life of St. Anthony, who was just a hidden friar, but was asked to preach off the cuff one day, and it turned out that he had a massive gift and charism of preaching. Well, he then became aware of the importance of the word and of the tongue. And indeed, his relics on this day are carried around in Padua. His tongue and his part of his jaw, and also the vocal cords they have in reliquaries, and they're honoured. Organs which had an impact on the world. And there I just thought the power of the word is something else. When he was not listened to with his vocal cords, the saint became somewhat impatient with men and turned to the fish, and remembering how they had been obedient to the Lord and had actually been created by them when multiplying these fish, the miraculous catch, it would seem, he just said to them, "Dumb fish, come and listen to what men will not listen to." And they put their little heads above the water and listened gladly to his words of grace, to which men turned a deaf ear. Something of that exists in our time, does it not? The tongue can do an awful lot of harm and of good, and the ears too can be completely blocked. Animals, perhaps, are innocent, and they can teach us one or two things. We have become very complex. We have lost the power of the word by being drowned in too many of them. And I wrote this after coming to that spot, which was not long actually before ordination, as a result of all these miracles. This is the place where happened the miracle that in adolescence made me think. Dumb beast that taught the world without a word, the word to heed, therewith to bend the knee. 'Twas this thine inward thinking that I heard, this thy clear vision that I once did see, through gazing on a page, wherein the age of reason ceased to be, for all was said. Good mule, that altered more than any sage in this thy strangest greeting of strange bread. 'Twas but a day like this that came this way, all days, with but a nay for a to bend. And now I see, blessed preacher, that thy bray, a volume of hid sermons, here did end, and that a little particle would hold enough to groom a shepherd for the fold. Essendo ancora protestante, cercavo una prova che Dio esistesse e che la fede protestante è la vera, e andavo alla biblioteca di Cardiff e ho trovato la vita dei santi, e uno dei primi nella serie di Butler era quella di Sant'Antonio, a causa del A all'inizio, e ho trovato questa storia del mulo che apparteneva a questo ebreo che non credeva. Il santo ha comandato all'ebreo di metterlo a digiuno e poi l'ha portato a lui, e lui ha celebrato la Santa Messa a Rimini e ha indicato al mulo l'ostia e ha comandato: mulo muto, adora il tuo creatore. E così fu, e questo mi ha molto colpito, mi ha fatto cercare di più, perché Dio in questo senso parlava un linguaggio cattolico, faceva miracoli dogmatici, era una cosa un po' inquietante per un protestante. La cosa in Sant'Antonio che piaceva molto era la sua predicazione, questa ispirava molto. Abbiamo le reliquie della sua lingua, le sue corde vocali, la bocca che ha influenzato tante anime. Morto a 36 anni, dottore della Chiesa, gran predicatore e anche operatore di miracoli, di prodigi fino adesso, è un santo che ha dato tutto a Dio e ricevuto tutto, indicando anche la potenza dell'innocenza che non ha mai perso. gli uomini non ascoltavano più a un certo punto e lui si è rivolto ai pesci. Pesci del buon Dio, ascoltate la parola del vostro Creatore, e loro hanno messo i piccoli testi sopra l'acqua per ascoltare la parola del Santo, mentre gli uomini avevano altre cose da fare. La parola è importante, non abusiamo della facoltà della parola. Ogni parola deve essere vivificante e non troppo pesante. Una parola che guarisce, non una parola che opprime, e troppe parole escludono l'ascolto. Una parola fatta di amore e di forza e di verità è sacramentale perché porta Dio agli altri. Una parola che offende porta al demonio.
Lodate Dio, schiere beate del cielo. Lodate Dio, genti di tutta la terra. Cantate a Lui, chiedendo gli umiliamo, da dare l'unico Figlio. Sant'Antonio di Padova, prega per noi e per il mondo intero.